Hurricane Jose Path Update Live, latest NOAA track and models as Jose hits Caribbean. Hurricane Jose is looping around over the Atlantic amid fears it could head towards the Bahamas and the U.S. East Coast. Here are live updates on the hurricane's path, track, and latest weather models. Bringing you the latest Hurricane Jose path updates, storm track, weather models, the latest forecasts, tracking maps, and videos as the hurricane weakens over the Atlantic. Hurricane Jose moved away from the northern Leeward Islands on Saturday, giving relief to the Caribbean archipelago battered by Hurricane Irma. After Hurricane Irma devastated islands such as Barbuda, Saint Martin, and Anguilla, Icelanders were braced for the arrival of its fellow Hurricane Jose. But by Saturday afternoon, the hurricane was moving away from the northern Leeward Islands and the warnings were downgraded to lesser alerts. Hurricane Jose is now doing the loop over the Atlantic amid fears that it could loop back and head towards the Caribbean or the USA. We will have the latest Hurricane Jose news in one place, updated throughout the day and night until the storm has passed. Here are live updates from the NOAA, National Hurricane Center, NHC, and the National Weather Service, NWS, as well as the most advanced weather models from around the world. Tuesday, September 12, 11:00 p.m. EDT Hurricane Jose looping in Atlantic. Hurricane Jose is looping over the southwest Atlantic between the Bahamas and Bermuda. The storm is currently 495 miles from the southeastern Bahamas, and 410 miles south-southwest of Bermuda. It is carrying wind speed of 75 miles per hour, and is expected to make a slow clockwise loop during the next 48 hours, moving west-northwestward by late Thursday. 9.30 EDT, the hurricane duo Irma and Jose have now combined for the most accumulated cyclone energy, ACE, by 2 consecutive storms on record, meteorologist Philip Klotzbach revealed. ACE is a measure used by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, to express the activity of individual tropical cyclones and entire tropical cyclone seasons. The old record was Hurricane Yvonne and Jeanne in 2004. 7:47 p.m. EDT, Hurricane Irma, Royal Navy and Gibraltar send aid to Caribbean islands decimated by storm. Gibraltar has sent a fleet of 4x4s aboard the Royal Navy's flagship stocked with supplies for British territories in the Caribbean ravaged by Hurricane Irma. The British Virgin Islands, Anguilla alongside the Turks and Caicos Islands were hit with the full force of the Category 4 hurricane, which killed at least 34 people in the Caribbean and left 17 dead in the U.S. Among the dead were 5 people on the Virgin Islands and 4 more on neighboring Anguilla. 4:10 p.m. EDT, Hurricane Jose likely to miss U.S., but could loop back to try and strike. Forecasters suggest the storm may avoid the U.S. East Coast once it finally starts to move north next week. Meteorologist Bill Bellis tweeted, "Looks like #Hurricane Jose will stay away from the U.S. At least for now." but experts warn the Category 1 hurricane is also expected to make a clockwise loop and could head back closer to the Bahamas and East Coast. Noon EDT, Hurricane Jose is weakening. NASA's satellites have discovered that vertical wind shears are having an impact on the tropical hurricane, causing it to weaken. The space agency's Aqua satellite photographs demonstrate asymmetrical hurricane patterns as winds push clouds out of the storm's center. Earlier today, the National Hurricane Center said, Jose continues to be affected by 20 knots of northerly vertical shear, and recent microwave imagery shows that the low-level center is to the northeast or north of a large burst of convection that shows little evidence of banding. 11:30 m. EDT, NHC map suggests Jose could turn away from USA. The latest NHC map, released at 11 a.m. EDT, painted a more positive picture and showed Jose starting to turn out to sea by 8 a.m. on Sunday. Most global models suggest that Jose will keep turning around to the right before missing the US and heading out across the Atlantic. The Met Office Storm Track has forecast that Hurricane Jose will take a path towards the Bahamas and onto Florida, which is still recovering from Irma. The NHC forecast discussion said the tropical cyclone will keep moving in a clockwise loop over the next several days. Aside from the UK Met Office prediction, which is well south and west of the other track models, the official forecast is near the left side of the guidance suite, it said. 11:15 m. EDT, Hurricane Jose could gain strength again. Hurricane Jose is nearly as weak as a tropical storm after its winds decreased to near 75 miles per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, with higher gusts. The NHC said, a little weakening in the short term, followed by some re-strengthening later in the forecast period, is expected. Confidence in this intensity forecast is, however, lower than usual. 11 a.m. EDT, NHC says Hurricane Jose is still looping around. Hurricane Jose was last located about 450 miles, 725 kilometers, north-northeast of Grand Turk Island. The NHC said, Jose is moving toward the east near 5 miles per hour, 7 kilometers per hour, and a turn to the southeast and south at a slow forward speed is expected over the next couple of days. On the forecast track, the center of Jose will remain well to the east-northeast of the Bahamas through Wednesday. 10:05 m. EDT, Hurricane Jose could impact the East Coast. Meteorologist Michael Ventricle tweeted, seeing a favorable trend in our calibrated ECMOV EPS that takes hurricane #Jose out to sea. Still worth watching, but good news nevertheless. However, the remnants of Hurricane Irma coupled with Jose could still produce poor weather along the coast. The main circulation of Irma will move into the mid-Atlantic and northeastern states later this week, and may even linger for part of the upcoming weekend, said AccuWeather meteorologist Brett Rathbun. The sunny start to the week will end generally cloudy. The forecaster predicts that there will be enough moisture in the air to release scattered showers across New Jersey, but without risk of flash flooding. 8 a.m. EDT, New York and Washington in potential path of Jose. A new batch of spaghetti models provided by SVWX suggest that there is a possibility of Jose making landfall in the U.S. A few outliers from the aggregated models show the eye of the storm swinging by the U.S. East Coast after it loops the loop over the Atlantic. The majority of forecasts, however, agree that Jose will fly by parallel to the coast while moving in a north-northeast direction. There are some rumors swirling about Hurricane Jose hitting New York in 10 days. "Don't buy into the hype," said Fox 61 weatherman Matt Scott. "It's not impossible, but the probability of that happening is really low." 5.15 m. EDT, Hurricane Jose could weaken to a tropical storm later today. Hurricane Jose winds have decreased to near 75 miles per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, with higher gusts, just above the 74 miles per hour threshold for Category 1. The NHC said, some additional weakening is possible during the next day or so, and Jose could weaken to a tropical storm later today. 5.10 m. EDT, Hurricane Jose circles over open water. Hurricane Jose was last located about 435 miles, 700 kilometers, north-northeast of Grand Turk Island, the capital island of the Turks and Caicos. The NHC said, Jose is moving toward the east near 6 miles per hour, 9 kilometers per hour, and this motion is expected to continue today. A turn toward the southeast is expected tonight, followed by a turn toward the southwest by Wednesday. 5 a.m. EDT, huge differences in forecast as guidance diverges significantly. The latest update from the NHC said that Hurricane Jose is forecast to make an anticyclonic half loop over the next 72 hours. The NHC forecast discussion said, after that time, the confidence in the forecast decreases as the guidance diverges significantly. The UK Met Office, UKMET, storm tracker shows that Jose could head towards the Bahamas and onto Florida. But other models suggest it will stay out at sea. The NHC discussion said, on the right side, the ECMUF and Canadian models forecast a turn toward the north and northeast, while on the left side the UKMET forecasts a westward motion towards the Bahamas. The GFS, HWRF, and the various consensus models are between these extremes in forecasting a turn toward the northwest and eventually north-northwest. The new forecast track is in best agreement with these models and shifts slightly to the right of the previous advisory. The latest map issued by the NHC suggests that Hurricane Jose will head towards America before curving away out into the Atlantic. 4.40 m. EDT, Hurricane Jose has been downgraded to Category 1. Jose is now a Category 1 hurricane with winds of 85 miles per hour, well below the 96 miles per hour threshold for Category 2. It expected to continue weakening. 4.35 m. EDT, Met Office Storm Tracker shows direct hit on Florida. The Met Office Storm Tracker shows that Hurricane Jose could hit the Bahamas and Florida after completing its loop this week. Other global models suggest that Hurricane Jose could spin back out at sea. 4.20 m. EDT, Irma has been downgraded to a tropical depression 2.20 m. EDT, forecast confusion continues. Hurricane Jose confusion continues with forecasters unsure whether the storm will make landfall on the U.S. East Coast or stay out at sea. Central Coast News, KCOY12, tweeted, Jose is still out over the open water of the Atlantic, but there's a chance it follows a spinning path into the East Coast in a week. Just 10 minutes later, the channel added, I'm happy to say the latest run of the GFS model keeps Hurricane Jose over the water instead of hitting the East Coast. Central Coast News noted, don't rest easy yet, though, that forecast can, and will, change many times before next Monday. Tell us, what do you think about this? Comment on the blank below. Subscribe channel for more video. Wake up channel. Bring you the truth. Thanks for watching.